morning, everybody! Welcome back to another edition of Jake and Justin in the Morning. Hope you're all doing well. Surprise, surprise, this is the last before we go home for the summer, so we figure we do one last episode of Jake and Justin in the Morning. So Justin, how's it going today?
It's going great. I got a good amount of couple hours of sleep in. I got a class at 5, so a couple. A couple. Well, how much do you think is a couple?
What? Like 2?
I got like 6.
Oh, okay.
I went to bed at 4. I went to bed at 4. I woke up at 10:30. So
that's about what I got.
So 6.5 hours.
I got about 6.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
got the doctor's recommended time, 6 to 8.
That's all I recommend.
People recommend they recommend people with people who are growing, so the age of kind of like 12 to probably up to their 20s to get at least 6 to 8 hours.
Okay.
You could get more, but they recommend 6 to 8.
Okay.
The younger you get, the more hours it is. Like for children, it's like 8 to 10. And then for adults, it's like 5 to 7. So,
Right.
So I'm already on track. I'm on track.
Same, yeah, I thought it was 8. I was gonna say.
You know what? 3 hours of sleep, baby. Let's go. Who the fuck needs it? And then once you get older, it kind of goes back to like being like longer.
Yeah.
But also they take like 900 naps a day, so they don't really need to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep.
Like for me, I don't want to take 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, well I know. I could get.
Liam, you're also an EMT.
Jake, I go to bed at, let's say, 1 or 2 o'clock.
Why are you flexing sleeping?
1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get ready for work without taking any coffee throughout the whole day.
Yeah, we know. So yeah, because you're an EMT. What do we just? Yeah, because you're an EMT.
The thing is, I'm supposed to live off of caffeine to keep my ass awake.
Yeah, I live off caffeine, and that's fine. I'm proud of it.
I would ask what you have for breakfast, but I do not. I don't think you have breakfast.
No, I didn't, but I just have the sweet taste of a New Jersey team taking a dub. Let's get started. So if people don't know, Jake probably has a rant charged up, fired up. If you guys watched Talking Sports with Jake yesterday, he said that he's a Ranger fan and this is a big game for him. He had his Rangers gear on, he has Knicks cap on. And the Devils end up taking it. What was it? 3-0, 4-0? 4-0. It was 4-0 in the last game. It was at Prudential Center. Big win, a little bit of an upset, but so here's what's gonna happen. I know you have a rant charged up. I know it's gonna get loud. I'm going to take off these headphones and I'm going to stand in the back of this corner so then I cannot hear. What's up?
I may have it muted low enough.
You have it low enough? Yeah, but I the thing is this. Yeah, it'll be low enough to be on feed, but while I'm in here, I can still hear this.
Just keep your headphones on and pray for the Lord.
I'm going to keep them off.
We're literally leaving the table.
Yeah, I'm going to leave the table. I'm going to exit the table. And I will let you cook. So let me just get comfortable. Go.
That was pathetic, Raiders. Absolutely pathetic. How's a team that good in the first goddamn round? How? How you that deep on offense? All these playmakers, the best score left in the postseason.
Never mind, it's actually better this way. Never mind.
and you lose in the first goddamn round to a team that had not been in 11 goddamn years. I was 10 goddamn years old when the Devils were in the playoffs. Devils are a fantastic hockey team. They're a really good team. They are excellent offensively, and goaltending. They were very, very good.
See, you're scared, Golda. Look what you did.
I don't even scared Professor Gold. That's how loud I am. But that was pathetic. You brought in Patrick Kane and Tarasenko to an already good team, and you lose in the first round to the New Jersey Devils. You got to be kidding me. So you were up 2-0, going back to Madison Square Garden and you lose the series? Are you kidding me? Get your heads out of your backside and walk back to New
This
York.
really just goes to show that home court, that home field advantage really does not matter that much.
It really doesn't. They should walk back to New York. That was just pathetic and absolutely stupid. They should all be embarrassed. Every single player and member of the Rangers organization should be embarrassed to be alive right now. That was absolutely pathetic. And also, the 4 games lost, they played horrible. How you that good offensively? The Devils had a rookie going there who played fantastically, Kira Schmidt. Shout out to him. Shout out to Linderup for going to Schmidt in Game 3.
Yeah, Schmidt was really good. He had, what, 31 saves in that game?
Shout out to him. But you're facing a rookie goalie still, and you can't. And outside of Game 6, they scored what, total 3 goals? Are you kidding me? What an embarrassment! Absolute embarrassment. The one silver lining that there is, this Rangers team has really not faced any adversity.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by, like, adversity?
Just like teams like this that are like bound to win at least one cup. At some point, they have a year that looks like it's their year possibly, and they lose early.
Okay, I get what you're saying, because I thought you meant like they've never really had competition, but they lost to the Lightning last year.
Yeah. So the one silver lining is this is kind of similar to what I think it's going to be for the Cavs this year. Like, yeah, they're expected to win this year. Maybe they would have. They probably beat the Heat in the second round, and I mean, if they played Milwaukee, they probably lose. But they give them a series, they probably beat the Heat in the second round. Like, at the very least, for the Cavs, like now it's low. It's like that one moment for them. And now they're like, all right, they got the experience. Let's go and get better, and let's go out next year and let's be even better, and let's win at least one series next year. But so that's a one silver lining.
So who do you point the finger at as a Ranger fan? Because yes, the offense needed to answer.
The offense was bad yesterday.
The offense was bad yesterday. But
all games that they lost.
Yeah, but they needed to come up with a response. But also, Shesterkin needed to be better.
I mean, he had an incredible series. He had a 1.7. He had 1.8 GAA the entire series.
I know, but still, you need to have. But I mean,
it's one game. Also, it doesn't matter. The Rangers scored 0 goals. When you don't score, you can't win. That's every sport. It doesn't. Oh, yeah. Shesterkin could have had 96 saves. If the Rangers don't score, it doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna put the blame on Shesterkin for the Rangers offense being pitiful. Like Patrick Kane, he was pitiful. Tarasenko, pitiful. Panarin, pitiful.
Zibanejad outside of Game 6 was bad.
Outside of pitiful. Kreider, who was fantastic in the first 3 games. Outside of that, pitiful.
See, all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is, you know how they have the Jimmy Vesey curse. Because we had Jimmy Vesey and we didn't win. Now you have Jimmy Vesey and now you don't win.
Yeah, I don't know. And also, I think...
This all comes back to Jimmy Vesey.
I think going into the playoffs, a lot of people had the Rangers in the Eastern Conference Finals. I did as well. I think a lot of times in the playoffs, really old sport...
Once they got Patrick Kane, I had them winning the cup. I thought they should have won the cup.
I thought it was possible. I wasn't sure if they'll be able to beat Boston. We also have the Boston. Clearly, they were not as good as we thought. But I think there was a couple of weaknesses that were kind of exposed by the Devils. First of all, the Rangers have not been good on faceoff in several years, and that was exposed. The Devils dominated them on faceoff, not completely dominated, but they pretty much dominated on faceoffs. They pretty much dominated. They got to get a faceoff guy. They've needed that for years. Secondly, the Rangers need one more shutdown defenseman. They had that in Ryan Lindgren. That's why him and Fox such a good pairing. You have Fox, who's one of the best teammen in the league. He's an offensive guy. Of course, he's also good defensively. And then Lindgren is like your shutdown, stay-at-home defenseman. Like, I love Trouba, and Contra is a good young player. I like Schneider, but they're all offensive guy. I think they need one more good shutdown defenseman. I also think they need a better backup goalie. You want to tire out Igor Shesterkin. When you have a guy like Igor, it's less of a problem, but you want to tire him out.
Yeah,
play out to like Yaroslav Halak.
Yeah, that's a problem because he did have an incredible. Both goalies did. Both goalies had incredible series. Especially Schmidt for being a rookie.
Yeah.
But yeah, at some point, like Shesterkin, if Shesterkin went past, he probably would have gotten cooked. He'd probably be tired. He'd be gassed.
Like,
he would.
Last year, the Rangers had Alexander Georgiev, who was not fantastic, but he was like. He was good enough to the point where the Rangers were comfortable starting him enough to the point where Shesterkin still had enough left in the tank, which is why they were able. A big reason why they got to the conference final because Shesterkin was absolutely brilliant. Shesterkin had an historic year last year.
Oh, he did.
But
Of course he did.
But also, Alex Jordan was able to spell him throughout the regular season.
Yep.
Yaroslav Halak really didn't because the Raiders had no confidence putting him in there. And I'm not even knock Gerard Gallant for that. He was not good. Speaking of Gerard Gallant, I got a lot of people that are knocking him. I didn't love what he did this year. I thought he was he put the plug on the lines too much. And I didn't love what he did. I'm hearing people calling for his job. I wouldn't mind a change. I'm actually split because I think part of me wants to go and get a face-off guy, go and get one more defenseman, have a decent offseason, and you go out next year and give Gallant one more shot.
Hey Jake, I think you need a brand new offensive line, whole offensive team.
I mean,
you don't need a brand new. Okay.
Not like
we
brand
don't need a brand
new
new offensive team.
They need Lafreniere, who was pitiful in the playoffs. They need him to step up. They need Kakam and
They need all of them
up.
to step up. None of them, they didn't look right.
And
nothing of that. None of them.
Lafreniere is close to being a bust.
Like what?
Lafreniere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like from the game last night, Devils shook it off from the loss they had from the previous game and played better. So that's how they got the dub.
That was kind of my other thought. I just thought that
the Devils just shook off the loss and just get back to work.
I feel like what ended up giving the Devils the advantage was the Rangers take 2 games off in Prudential.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
The Devils shook it off, took 2 games off at the Garden, which is, especially with the crowd there, that's tough.
It was.
Especially for a young team.
Especially for a young team, inexperienced in the playoffs team like that is tough. What I think happened, which is the difference, is because all sports in the real thick of it, the main part of sports is not your skill. It's not what talent you bring. It's not how much strength and conditioning you have. It's not even how much you work at as a team. All of it whittles down to a small part that people forget about, which is the mental coming into a game.
Absolutely.
So what I think happened is that, so they take off 2 games in Prudential, the Rangers. They're super hyped. They're up 2-0. They're looking like they're going to close out this series in at least 5 games. And at least in a maximum of 5 games, I should say. And then they go to the Garden. They get swept in the Garden, and now the series is tied. And then the Devils.
The momentum shifted.
Yeah, and then the momentum shifted because, as you could see, the Devils clearly was just like, okay, it's 2 games. They then kind of sweep. They kind of destroy them in the Garden.
They won in Game 5.
And then Game 5 they come in, and then that's when I think the Rangers kind of lost because oh shit, it's like. We lost 2 in the Garden. Now the series is tied in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
It's tied. So now, okay.
I think they got complacent. They're like, oh, this Devils, they're young. Oh, we're going to blow them out. And then they lose 2 in the Garden. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Wait, this team's actually pretty freaking good.
Yeah, but then Game 5 comes along, and they're like, okay, we beat them in Prudential, and they don't. And then they kind of shake it off, mainly thanks to Zibanejad playing very well. But also, he should have been doing that 3 games ago.
Like 6 games ago.
Should have been doing that 6 games ago. And then, okay, now the series is tied, but now we're going back to Prudential. And then the second they were up 2-0, it was like, oh shit. Now we're back. I just think at that point the mental fortitude was stronger.
Yeah.
Look at the Miracle on Ice.
Yeah,
I genuinely think the thing that made America win over Russia was because, or USSR at the time, was because the mental fortitude was stronger.
On paper, USSR showed them 10-0. They were beating guys they would beat teams like that all the time.
They would.
Yeah.
They would have.
That's why it's called the Miracle on Ice, because we thought US didn't stand a chance and they won. Yeah, and fun fact, that was even
look at the Panthers. Look at the Panthers, exact same thing. The Bruins had a historical regular season, most goals scored ever in a season, most wins in a season ever, and they end up losing in 7 to a team that they should have absolutely demolished.
The thing is,
Also, the goalie on the Bruins did throw.
Oh yeah, he did.
He did horrendously throw.
Okay.
Struggled, yeah.
For the Rangers and Devils, like on paper, it's supposed to be the Rangers winning, not the Devils. But even though the Devils were topping the league for always in the league with the Rangers but the playoffs are a different series.
Mhm.
But I believe it should somewhat bend to the Rangers by on paper, but anything can still happen, especially
Yeah.
in playoffs.
I didn't think the Rangers would. At the beginning of the series, I did not think the Rangers would win in 5. I did think it would go 7. I did not. I think the Devils are they are the real deal. That being said, I did still have the Rangers winning.
The reason why I said Rangers in 5, maybe Rangers in 6, was mainly because I thought all of those role players, especially on the offensive end, would have stepped up.
They should have, yeah.
Because
But
I
they
could have,
haven't.
because I would have really, if I was playing against Zibanejad, P. Kane, Panarin, all in the playoffs, I'd walk off the rink. I'd walk off the ice. I'd be like, nope, you're good. I mean, at that point, I'd be like, okay, Jack Hughes, Timo Meyer, do everything, but outside of that, we're taking a step back.
Yeah, but yeah. So and back to the line, I go back and forth because they do. I think their weaknesses were definitely exposed. So I'm fine if you go out and get a face-off guy, one more defenseman, give him one more shot. That being said, a team cannot be this talented and lose in the first round and not make changes. So I wouldn't be upset if they let him go.
It's Pat Riley's season in the Rangers, baby. Not a single change will happen.
That would be pathetic.
Like the Rangers should make some changes, especially after the loss.
Yeah.
Especially in the first round.
So let me ask Justin, who do you have going to the Stanley Cup?
Ooh. Great question. And the answer is I don't know. It's a coin toss at this point. We thought the Bruins would do it, they're out. We thought the Avalanche could do it, they're out. You can never sleep on the Lightning, they're out. I mean, all of these teams are just simply out. And it's just really, really tough. I'm trying to kind of look at the bracket right now, just kind of figure out the status of that.
I know I haven't
far,
made a bracket for this, but
okay, I kind of see. I was trying to look at who plays who.
Okay.
Ooh, tough. You know what? I'm actually going to say I think the Devils have a shot against the Hurricanes.
Definitely.
Of course
At this point, if I'm any team, I'm not sure if I want to play the Devils right now.
That's going out.
Just like if I'm the Maple Leafs, I would not want to play the Panthers either. However, I actually see the Devils, and I'm gonna take a team that I also wouldn't want to play. I'm gonna take the Kraken.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say it's Devils Kraken.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I think the Devils come out of the East because Carolina, they're overrated every year. They really don't scare me. They're not good offensively. They're great defensively, and they got good goaltending, but that's the reason the Rangers beat them last year. They don't have enough goal scoring. So I do think the Devils beat Carolina. Another reason why I'm upset the Rangers lost because I think after Boston lost and I thought the Rangers were gonna win the cup.
Rangers would have an easy win to the cup.
So I think,
But
you play the winner of Florida and Toronto. I mean, I think the Devils win that series. Maybe on paper Toronto wins, but it's also Toronto. So do we trust them? I don't. I don't. The last time they won the cup was the year my mom was born.
Yeah.
1967. So yeah. I have Devils going to the cup. In the West, it's very wide open this year. I'm gonna say Edmonton.
Edmonton wins the cup. All right.
I'm not sure who's gonna win. Those two teams I have going to the cup. Because Dallas I like, but I'm not sure if I have it all. Seattle, I'm not gonna lie, they definitely could do it. They're playing really well right now, and so
that was a well put together team, especially
absolutely.
especially on their second year of existing.
Yeah, and the Western Conference, the West has been weapon all year in the NHL. I'll say New Jersey and Edmonton go to the cup.
All right.
Like for me, I'm a Devils fan, so it is I'm gonna have the Devils win all the way and get in the Stanley Cup. But realistically, I still don't know yet.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting.
It's a toss-up.
Shall see what happens. Hockey playoffs are always exciting.
I know it like Justin is. It's a coin flip at this time. But my unrealistic views as a Devil fans, I want them to go all the way and win it. But realistically, I still don't know yet.
Yeah, nothing's impossible.
Yeah.
I know nothing's impossible.
Anything is possible.
No, my unrealistic views, I want the Devils to go all the way. Realistic views, I still don't know yet.
Yeah, we shall see. Moving on to basketball. So Sixers take game one without Joel Embiid. Philly wins 119 to 115. Harden with a 45 piece and a game icing 3 with 8 seconds left. Sixers take game one. This is huge.
This is crazy. The Celtics are, to me, the weirdest team. This year, they are the weirdest team I've ever seen. Because this is a team that should probably be, honestly, if you told me this team went like 73-9, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
They could. But the problem is, and every Celtics fan admits it, if we ask Ashton, who's been on the show, and we ask Drew, who's been on the Sports Media Club podcast before, they'll probably admit it too. They like to play down to their opponents.
They do.
Like the Hawks game should not have gone to 6. That shouldn't have gone to 6. They shouldn't have lost to the Magic all those times in the regular season. They shouldn't have lost to the Cavs all those times in the regular season. They shouldn't have even lost to the Heat 2 out of the 3 times they met up. They shouldn't have lost, and they did. So now, I don't know. They are a very egotistical team. Because I guarantee you what was coming in today was, it's the Sixers. We beat the Sixers before. Joel Embiid's hurt. It's their best player. James Harden doesn't really step up in the playoffs. And all of a sudden, 45 on your fucking head. And now it's like, oh shit. We just lost at home. Taking a game off in the at TD Garden is no easy feat. Mm-hmm. It's just like taking a game off at MSG, because those are 2 very historical arenas. Obviously, MSG a lot larger, but still, like TD Garden has been around since the inception of basketball. I mean, when you think of TD Garden, you think of the Boston Celtics.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the Bruins if you're weird, but primarily the Celtics. So. And like the crowd there is electric. There's very few teams that have such electric crowds. You could probably argue the top 3 are Kings are Knicks, Celtics, and the Sacramento Kings. Yeah. Because that crowd was electric as well. Even the Warriors have electric. Yeah. They're all great there. Even Miami, when they're in the playoffs, has an electric sold out crowd too. So the fact that they took a game off down their best player, and the fact that James Harden stepped up is actually a really nice look for Philly. It's a nice look to see James Harden look even a little bit like himself again. Mm-hmm. Because 45, I mean, when's the last time he had such a performance like that? You could easily argue it was back in Houston. Probably was back in Houston. And this team, and if Harden is playing like this, if Harden plays like this every night, I actually don't see anyone beating Philly.
Yeah, like, you have to go back
and I get it, it's only game 1, right, yeah. But still, to take one off at home, at home with a team this stacked and that deep, I mean, you're starting Paul Reed, and your backup at that point is Dwayne fucking Dedman. And you're telling me that, and you're telling me that this series could go to at least 5 now? That's crazy.
Yeah, going back to Harden, the closest thing he's had to that kind of performance in the playoffs, he has not been great in the playoffs, was probably, I think it was game 6 of the second round last year. I think he had like 33, 8, and 9.
Yep.
Besides that, you definitely got to go back to Houston for him to have a performance like this. He was phenomenal. And this is huge, to take I heard there's optimism that Embiid comes back for game 2. So what if he comes back and he's at least enough of himself where he can take game 2? All of a sudden,
at this point, I'm actually worried about Embiid. They look better without him.
Yeah.
They looked better without him. So let's say, for example, I'm going to go kind of really far-fetched here with it, but let's just play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Let's say Joel Embiid's injury is really bad.
It's worse than we thought.
It's worse than we thought. And he's projected to be out for another 2 weeks, which is basically the length of that whole series if it goes to 7. It is the length of that whole series if it goes to 7. And let's say the Sixers win in 7.
Mm-hmm.
That is when everybody should be pointing the finger at Joel Embiid and start saying, okay, now it's your fault. Because if they win, because they can't blame Doc Rivers, they can't blame Ben Simmons, you can't blame James Harden. If you win without Joel Embiid, you need to start pointing the finger at him and say, well, it's your fault.
And at that point, the MVP should go to Jokic. At that
The
point.
The MVP should be Jokic no matter what. If you take Embiid off the Sixers, they're probably a 6 seed where the Nets are. If you take Jokic off the Nuggets, they're probably favored to get Victor Wembanyama.
They're in that sweepstakes.
Yeah, they're probably in that lottery pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you beat the Spurs, which is basically Jeremy Sochan with his stupid Patrick Star hair.
So bad.
Yeah, he is bad. He is awful. I mean, at this point, put Greg Popovich at the 1. The floor general himself. Get David Robinson back on the floor. He's got a few years left. He's only 57. But that's really all I have to say about that series.
So that's a huge game for Philly to grab. Speaking of Jokic, Denver takes game 2 against Phoenix. So they take both games to Denver. They win 97 to 87 in game.
I love it.
Game 2.
I love it.
Jokic 39 and 16, big game. Booker at 35 in the loss. So is Denver going to the conference finals?
I fucking love it. Let's go. Actually, I'm gonna go as far to say that they could go to the finals.
I think so. I don't see why not.
They could go to the finals. This is a good team. This is a good team. When Jamal Murray is playing like himself, that Jokic-Murray duo is unstoppable.
Absolutely.
It is. If they could keep that up, then they could easily win this series. Or up 2-0 against a team that should, on paper, sweep their way through everything. This is a super team they built. But the problem is the amount of depth they have is the amount of depth on a painted tunnel. It's not. There's zero depth on that Suns team.
No, yeah,
you're gonna run Josh Okogie. All of a sudden, Josh Okogie is a fucking starter. He is a starter. He played 21 minutes at 2 points.
Wow.
2.
Speaking of guys who started, PJ Tucker had played 37 minutes, didn't have a field goal attempt. He broke the record for most minutes played for a field goal or a free throw attempt.
He's fucking useless. He's PJ Tucker. He
Off.
should have never left Miami. He should have never left. It has nothing to do with the fact Philly doesn't know how to use him. It's more of that Miami had nobody.
Yeah.
And he could get more touches, and he is good from the corner. I mean, if you see him at the 3 from the corner, I trust him. I trust him with it because he is very good from there.
Yeah.
But really outside of that, because he brings great defense and he brings the corner 3.
Yeah.
But once people block the corner, he's kind of nothing.
Yeah, he is not big this year. But yeah, so big win for Denver. Jokic with a big game. To me, he is still the MVP.
He should be. He should be a 3-peat champion.
He's
3-peat MVP.
He's my vote. He is absolutely incredible. Jamal Murray has been, like you just alluded to, he's been fantastic in this entire playoffs. He's stepping up. By the way, what the heck happened to Michael Porter Jr.? Like, is he there? Like,
no, he's
hello?
he's spacey, man. He just can't do it.
When he was coming out of college, I thought to myself, all right, he's got a lot of injury concerns. Obviously, he had the really bad back injury coming out of college. I thought, This is a guy. If he was allowed to come right from high school, he would have been the first pick in the draft. If he ever stays healthy, this guy I think has a chance to be a star. You know, his first year he barely played. Then in that, I think it was maybe it was in the bubble. He had a fantastic year. He averaged 24 a game. He was great. And since then, he has not been able to stay on the court at all. And even
He's kind of a bust.
even when he has been on the court, he really hasn't been that great. He's been very inconsistent. He's had some nice game, but he's been inconsistent. He's turning into a guy like, all right, like a decent glue guy, can make you a big shot, but that's not the guy we thought. We were getting much more than that when he was coming out of college.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
He's a bit of a disappointment.
He's a bit of a bust, a tiny bit.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's basketball. We don't have too much else to cover, but I do want to talk about a extension that happened when it comes to the NFL.
Oh, we're talking about NFL now? Okay, I got this.
So the Green Bay Packers extended Jordan Love through next year for $22.5 million.
I'm hitting the Riz on Liam.
So, yeah, just by the way, Justin is known as the Rizzler.
The Rizzler.
Yeah, if you don't know what that means, look it up.
1 minute.
Essentially, Riz is basically having the ability to, you know, kind of like smooth talking, pick up girls, you know.
Basically Justin.
Basically me, obviously, you know.
So the Packers, obviously Jordan Love's under contract here on his rookie deal. Yeah, he was supposed to have a 5th-year option. They were going back and forth, but they just gave him a 1-year extension. So Liam, who is in the back, he's obviously chimed in earlier.
Yeah, he's our designated Packers guy.
Yeah.
He's the DPG. He's the
DPG, yeah. So Liam, what is your take on this extension for Jordan Love?
Okay. For the extension, they just pay him the 5-year contract and keep him on the team. Even though it's $20 million for his 5th year, even though it's his 1st year starting. But if we don't give him this deal, won't pay him this money.
They did pay him though.
They did?
Yes, they gave it to him. They gave it to him. It's for $22 million, $13 million guaranteed.
Yeah, for next year.
All right. So
yeah, through next year. So it's basically like a 1-year extension.
Yeah.
Okay. If he does well, then give him a better contract. But if he does well this season, they'll probably get Love a better contract with better pay as a starting quarterback. But I also think, even though he's been on the Packers for a while, this is his very first season starting off as a starting quarterback, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's also goes to account. Like,
oh, I have a question for you, Liam.
What?
Do you think so? If they decline the 5th-year option, he basically becomes a free agent.
Well,
True.
He's signed now.
Well, no, I'm saying if he
True.
didn't. What I'm trying to say is if he didn't, he would have become a free agent. So here's that. I don't think any team picks him up. Obviously, if they declined his 5th-year option, they didn't want him either. So therefore, it becomes a man without a team. So would you legitimately trust Sean Clifford? Your 4th-round pick?
For the love of God!
I will not.
What? I'm not wrong, am I? I mean, it's
Sean
true.
Clifford. The guy's name is Sean Clifford.
Yeah.
Sean Clifford. I don't have any faith in that man.
Well, I mean, look, it doesn't really matter what we say. We're Jets fans. We already have our QB1. We're talking about him.
Sean Clifford.
Considering the QB identity there is that of a murder mystery, I really have. I'm, you know, it's like a game of Clue. My God, it's a game.
For this, if they decline it, and Love becomes a free agent, I'll be really pissed off because I don't want my 4th-year pick as my starting quarterback.
You know what? Your
for the Green
4th-round
Bay
pick is
Packers.
starting quarterback.
6th-round pick.
Oh no, it was a 4th round.
It was a 4th round.
It was 4th round. They drafted They
Jesus
drafted.
Christ, they did they? If so, it's a reach.
Yeah, and then they drafted a kicker in the 5th, which we'll talk
Oh,
about
good
later
God.
because we gotta continue. We have to ask
I
him a
don't
lot
want
of
the
Packers.
fucking kicker.
Okay, we'll continue. We'll talk about the kicker in a second. Let's go back to your mid as fuck QB identity. Okay.
God fucking damn it.
It's like Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. I really
Liam
have no
is
idea which one to
upset.
choose. Liam is
Dustin,
upset.
I am fucking saying with you. I don't know what the fuck my GM is thinking of.
Brian Gutekunst. Brian Gutekunst.
I have
Gutekunst?
no,
Whatever the fuck you
I have
pronounce
no
the
idea
name.
what they're cooking. I have no freaking idea what they're cooking. It's not fucking good.
I just want to ask. So let's say, for example, they decline Jordan Love's 5th-year option.
Okay.
So, like I said, he becomes a man without a team because I don't think anyone picks him up.
I doubt
It's almost it's almost like Des Bryant for like 2 years when no one wanted to pick him up.
What the fuck?
So if he did not sign the 5th-year option, how much faith do you have in Sean Clifford?
Expect me to go for a different team.
Expect you to go for a different team.
Bro's about to jump ship.
Man's about to become a Kevin Durant. My next chapter. He's about to become unloyal to his team.
Hey, expect me to be a Jets.
Expect you to be a Jet fan. I'm not. I mean, okay. I mean, welcome to gangrene, I assume. But nonetheless. Also, real quick, I want to quick little sidebar here. They should call it Green Gang. Gangrene is something for diabetes.
Really?
It's a foot fungus for diabetes where you get it amputated.
No one.
We have diabetes.
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 Yep. Here's the thing. I also have a little bit of bias towards the Jets, mainly because I'm from New York, and also because, fun fact, the Jets were founded on my birthday.
Right.
Yes, the Jets were founded. New York Jets were founded on my birthday. So when I turn,
I'm so sorry.
So when I turn 21, they'll be about 50 something. I don't know.
So
they're pretty old.
So this is what I'm hearing. On your birthday, you're gonna get drunk at MetLife Stadium.
No, I'm not gonna get drunk at I can't get drunk. I can't have more than 1 drink alcohol. I can't do that. So I'm not gonna get drunk. Trust.
1 big can of beer is fine.
I can have 1 tall can. I can have 1 tall can of beer.
How tall are you talking about?
Not as in like a fucking Texas style, man. I'm talking as in like, the tall like Arizona tea size. Yeah. I could probably have 1 of those.
So about like a 2-pint beer can you'll see at Yankee Stadium.
I probably could.
Okay.
Have 1 2-pint.
Okay.
Probably 1 pint for sure. 2 pints maybe.
I forget it's either a pint or 2 pints. I know the cans I'm talking about. I forget what size they were at Yankee Stadium. There was either a pint.
Yeah, I can have a bottle. I can have like a bottle, a can, a pint, and that's fine. Trust me, I don't have an issue with it.
So am I hearing this correctly? You can have a pint of whiskey.
Okay, Liam, you love to push the buttons, don't you? Liam,
what is this guy?
Liam,
this
I
guy
don't think
doing?
anyone can drink a pint of whiskey.
Yeah, really.
But
I can have a cocktail. Probably not a Long Island iced tea, but not a but
so those are pretty strong.
Well, the funny thing is that a Long Island iced tea isn't even iced tea.
It's not.
A Long Island iced tea. The reason why it gets the iced tea colors from Coke.
Yep.
That's funny.
Coca-Cola. It's rum, triple sec, tequila, vodka, and then Coke.
Jesus Christ.
It's like a glass this tall, filled with ice, and then they add a little bit of lemon, like that's gonna do something.
Like it's almost like about 100% alcohol by all that stuff. Yeah.
Liam, why are we talking about alcohol? Clearly, you're just trying to dodge the fact that the Packers suck. So anyway,
I know the Packers are gonna suck this year because my fucking GM.
So anyway, please continue as to why Jordan Love. About what your opinion is on Jordan Love picking up the 5th-year option.
Okay. I'll be happy.
Oh my god.
But he already took it. So are you satisfied or are you not satisfied with Jordan Love getting the 5th-year option?
I am satisfied because I'm a fucking 4th-round pick. I don't know why we fucking did that shit. It's always go for a 2nd-round, 3rd-round pick. But no, maybe a 5th or 6th-round pick if we're going to go for a
you guys
quarterback.
could have went for a quarterback in the 2nd round. The problem is you guys drafted a guy named Lucas Van Ness.
I don't know what the fuck
you guys picked up a defensive end, and then you're like, oh shit, now we need a weapon, and then you guys settled on a weapon finally. But anyway, so the Jordan Love 5th-year option. I mean, I guess I kind of feel like they have no choice because you either don't give him the 5th-year option and no one picks him up, or you start Sean Clifford or one of the other washed quarterbacks that are on the market right now.
Yeah, but my thing with that. Yeah, remember they didn't.
However, I do have a secondary opinion, but you go ahead.
Okay. They didn't exercise his option. They gave him it's like a 1 year. It wasn't. That's not even his option. They just gave him
It was all the context
an
from my
extension.
stupid
So,
GM.
so like they had a couple options. They could have either given them the extension, and this is what's gonna happen. If he plays well, let's say he has. To me, it sets him up to possibly, if he were to play well, I don't think he will, but if he does play well, it could be like a Daniel Jones thing. Daniel Jones had one somewhat good year and he got $40 million. Let's say he goes out there, he has a decent year. Nothing doesn't blow up.
25-9, 25 touchdowns, 9
like
picks.
That.
You know,
he's going to ask for at least $40 million. Will he deserve it? Hell no. But Daniel Jones had 15 touchdowns.
Lamar didn't deserve 52.
Hell no. Yeah.
Because it's freaking Lamar. That's why.
That's true.
Or they could have exercised the option. If he played well, you could have went from there. Or decline the option. If he goes out and plays well, you tag him and you go from there. If he sucks, you let him go. So I think it's a little more riskier to do what they did. So that's why it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
So if Lamar does do well, I'll just give him a little bit pay bump.
And Jordan Love?
Yes, for Love.
Okay.
Okay, let's say for this season, Jordan Love does well.
Mm.
You give him new contract, but you just bump him up a little bit and Joseph Amar because that's on from one season.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's worth $40 million, but the fact is he is going to ask for 40.
He's going to ask for 40,
and he'll get it because the Packers are going to be in a spot where they either pay him the 40 or he walks, and now they're even worse than they're just as bad. Okay. They're even worse than when they were.
However, this is my secondary opinion. A part of me feels. Wait, what do you want to say about Love first, Liam? And then I'll talk about my kind of mini opinion here.
So, like, for example, Love does well this season. They're going to do no contact of the extension. Love asks for, let's say, thing is, the Packers should pay him around, like, what? 25 guaranteed, but 40 to someone please him. But he's at least getting 25 guaranteed, or maybe 30 guaranteed out of the 40. Somewhere around that. If he does ask for 40.
Per year,
per year. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree.
At least for now, since he's still somewhat as a new starter.
He might ask for that.
He might ask for that, but I would say $15 million a year would be fair. Get him a Duncan deal, 4 year, $90 million.
I'm thinking between 15 and 30.
15 or 30 million.
No, 15.
It really depends. If he has what's up?
I'm saying between 15 million and 30 million within that range.
Okay.
That's what he should have.
If he has let's go like super maximum. This is like so far fetched, but let's just play, let's just play around, just say if he has like an MVP caliber season.
Right.
Like if he has like a 40 touchdown, like 40 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, like a Mahomes style year, he's going to ask for more.
Oh, yeah. And in that case, he would be worth it. I do.
In that case, I don't see it happening. And that's the thing. A part of me also feels that maybe it would be better to start fresh. Mm-hmm. And a part of me feels that. So you pick up Sean Clifford, who's obviously for whatever reason, but nonetheless you picked him up. He's on your team. He's a young guy. At some point, like what Jordan Love can bring, and we know that he can't really bring a lot.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would be better to start fresh with Sean Clifford to where at least he's shown something in college. I mean, at least in a Yeah, he barely showed something, but at least he did it in a semi-competitive conference, unlike Utah State.
I mean, he also
Utah.
To me, I see nothing in him.
Oh no, I'm not saying I see anything in him, but at some point, I feel like a fresh start is necessary, because you never know. You never know with some of these people.
Right, that's true.
We know Brock Purdy was going to be a QB1.
Oh no, I'm not saying
we
that.
We didn't. Nobody knew that Tom Brady was going to be the greatest quarterback of all time. I know that's to an extreme, but at some point, I feel like we need to at some point we kind of need to think maybe a fresh start is where it's at. Maybe a new face, maybe Sean Clifford. I'm not saying he will do well, but what I'm saying is give him a shot. Potentially, and maybe, because it is a coin flip with these rookies, he could be your future.
Maybe. Also with Jordan Love, look, I don't think he's good. I do not think he's a starting quarterback. That being said, you can't trade up for a guy. You trade up for a guy, you sit him for 3 years, and then just cut him. At that point, you might as well fire Gutkins. You might as well just fire the GM.
Yeah, Gutkunst. Yeah.
I don't know why he picked him up.
Whatever the heck his name is.
Brian Gutkunst, yes.
I can't pronounce his last name, but at that point, you might as well fire the GM. At that point, he is not a competent GM, and at that point,
It was
you might
not
as well fire
smart.
him.
No, it wouldn't have been
A
smart.
whole
I mean,
new front office.
I
within
don't.
Brandon
I don't
GM.
know why he still has a job. To be honest, he should not be in that position. But if you're at the point where like you don't even trust Jordan Love in the year where you're clearly after the Rodgers trade, you are in a bit of a rebuilding phase. If you have confidence in Jordan Love, I mean, yes, he hasn't given you much reason to inspire a lot of confidence, but I think they are kind of forced because if they trade up for him in the first round, sat him for 3 years and didn't play him, that just shows that the front office has no idea what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, Jake.
Do they? No. Oh, no. I'm not saying they do. They don't. But they're backed into a corner. The Packers, and they have no one to blame but themselves.
So here's a great question. Now, Liam.
Okay.
Because remember, this isn't about our team.
No, it's
Trust
not.
us. I mean,
Of
we
course
have
it's
no
not.
say. It's Liam here, our designated Packers guy. So Liam. So obviously going into the Aaron Rodgers trade and now a proof that after the 5th year, after the extension that they gave Jordan Love, that Jordan Love is going to be your starting QB.
Lord.
So the job going into the draft is to kind of give him some help. So please walk me through the thought process as a Packers fan as to what you think your front office was doing drafting a kicker in the 5th round.
I'm thinking either.
Someone that should have primarily been picked in the 7th round, mind you. But I just want to know what was your thought process about going for a kicker of all things in the 5th round. Remember, Tyreek Hill was also a 5th round pick, and he's one of the greatest wide receivers in the league. But
I know.
we'll continue.
So, I don't know what the fuck my front office and my fucking GM are smoking. It's going to be some good fucking shit.
They're on some pure they're on some pure Wisconsin Zaza. That's for sure.
No, the Zaza. Okay. Okay. So, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking of. We didn't need that. We need fucking weapons. Okay, true. We do somewhat need a new kicker. But that's not my main point why we need that kicker and that pick. We need at least wide receivers. At least a wide receiver we can use as a weapon. And some, of course, offensive linemen to help out in the offensive line. But my main
Did
reason...
you guys even draft a lineman?
No, we did not. We did a defensive tight end.
A defensive end.
Defensive end. I think we did a tight end.
You guys got a couple of tight ends.
I don't know why.
You guys drafted like 2 tight ends.
I don't know why we go for 2 fucking tight ends. Like, we need wide receivers.
The Packers will die before they draft receiver high.
I know.
Yeah,
like
they will die. I mean they because they needed a receiver in the 1st round a couple of years ago, and who they draft? Jordan Love.
Yeah. Like, okay. We need
One of the worst draft picks ever.
new receivers.
No, Mitch Trubisky's the worst.
That's
Especially because of what came after him.
yeah.
Because Mahomes
Not
came
the
right
worst,
after.
Love's one of the worst. That
One
was
of the worst.
pathetic.
That's
Trust
true.
me. At least I now have a one good wide receiver 1, but I need a second wide receiver. I need a wide receiver 2. Like, our running back plays are good. Our O-line is good for now, but of course we still want to fix the O-line. Our defensive line is all great. Our special teams, don't talk to me about that shit.
It was a little better last year, but
At least
so.
we still have a new kicker. Hopefully our kicker pans out from that pick we got him from. But my main question is, I wanted, as a Packers fan, at least in the 1st round pick, a wide receiver, and 2nd round pick, at least an offensive lineman.
So your team decides to get a kicker to fix that.
I hopefully the kicker pays out.
Thinks he pans out. All right.
But I know we somewhat need a new kicker. If you know me from
Yeah, but
2
also
years
it's
ago.
a kicker. It's a kicker. Like
But they took him in the 5th round, but still, like it's only gonna do so much.
True. But you know what happened to me 2 years ago with my Packers kicker.
Oh my god.
yeah. So if anyone wants to know, Liam. Before we knew Ashton and all those people, it was Liam, Jake, and I, and 2 others in a in Cabrini in the upper quad, which was meant to be for upperclassmen, by the way, but that's another story
It's
for
all
another day.
bullshit.
So yep, another story for another day. But Cabrini, very nice dorm.
It was a
We
beautiful
were
dorm.
one day, we were watching. It was a cold winter, snowing like shit. We went to the mall, got some stuff to eat because we were prepared to watch the wild card that day. And we watched the last game of the night was Packers 49ers. Of course, Liam, being a big Packers fan, wanted the Packers to win.
Of
Packers
course.
had the upper hand. They were up 7-0 for that entire game up until probably 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. If people don't remember, the 49ers defense played fantastic.
Of course
They
did.
stopped the Packers on at their own 5-yard line. And they had to punt it off because if they went for it and didn't get it, they would have had absolutely fantastic field position. Now what ends up happening is Mason Crosby kicks it. One of the players on the special teams blocks the punt. It falls into the end zone, and the 49ers special teams picks it up for a touchdown, and they end up tying the game with about 5 minutes left. And with great defense, they end up winning the game off a field goal. Now, Jake and I thought it was hilarious. Liam, on the other hand, was storming around Cabrini. Honestly, Liam is relatively soft-spoken until the Packers are on.
I'm a completely different person.
He is a completely... he has 3 different modes. He has the mode when he's in the podcast suite, to where he has this very methodical, calming meditation style, talking.
A meditation
Yeah, you should be a
instructor.
meditation guy. You should be working with Edward Barrios at the
WSHU building?
Yeah, at the at Linda's in that one classroom. He has all the meditation equipment set
that
up.
one.
That guy.
Oh my God.
Be working with him. And then there's the normal way, and then there's how you usually talk like you are now.
Oh yeah.
And then there's
Okay.
when you're watching the Packers, to where you get loud. I have never seen
Wait,
anybody
Justin.
get more loud towards a team
Justin, you
What?
forgot you forgot one mode.
when you're playing video games.
Nope, not that one.
Which one?
The one that's not drinking.
Oh, the one that's not drinking. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. When you're not. Oh yeah. When you're not sober, and you're watching the Packers. I actually never saw that combination together, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty loud.
Oh, expect a noise complaint
Well, and you know what? If
from
we
the
get,
apartments.
I'm not gonna lie, Liam. If we get a noise complaint off that, I'm gonna say it was worth it. I'm gonna say it was worth it.
That would be pretty funny.
It would be worth it. I'd take the write up. It's worth it. It would be so worth
yeah.
it. But so yeah, so that's the whole thing with Liam getting loud about it. So Liam, I know this is the last podcast of the year, so we
Okay.
need to ask because we never got to ask it for you.
Oh Lord.
As a Packers fan, what record would you be satisfied with?
With Jordan Love,
How many wins, how many losses would you be satisfied with?
I'll be okay with Love starting.
To where,
Since-
and when I ask this, I mean anything below that, you'd be very upset with.
Okay, of course I'll be upset if we go for a 10-1 record with us losing, but even
But
with
it's out of 17 games, Liam.
oh shit, fuck, my brain's cooked.
Same.
Okay. Out of 17 games, 10-7.
No.
I mean,
No, wait.
that's what he's satisfied with. It's not gonna happen.
I know it's not gonna happen. If it does, if we go for 10-7, some fucking how.
I'm saying realistically. I know that's what you want. For example.
Wait, no.
For example.
Justin, what I mean by 10-7, I mean 7 wins, 10 loss.
So it's the other way around. 7 and 10.
7-10.
It's
Okay,
7 and 10.
yeah.
It goes
Then-
win,
then
losses,
that ma-
ties. That's how records go. They're win, losses, ties.
That makes more sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because for example, Jake and I, we have thought that okay, you get Aaron Rodgers, you get all these pieces, you had a okay draft, but you ended up kind of redeeming themselves later on.
Mm-hmm.
I would be I think that anything less than 10 games is a failure.
Absolutely.
So I would even say that 12 games is not a far reach for this team.
No, it's not.
So
It's not.
So for you would be satisfied going 7-10.
I would say if I go 7-10 because don't forget it's loves for the season starting.
Okay, so let's say they go 4 and let's say what I think they're gonna go is 4-13. What do you think's gonna happen?
Of course, I'll be upset.
But what do you what change do you think should be made? Do you think your front office should be fired? Do you think Matt LaFleur should be fired?
No, I want my whole front office and my GM fired.
So
right now,
they should be fired now.
At least my GM.
Yeah.
I think Gutkun should be fired now.
I agree.
I think it's time.
Because he fucked us over for the past. Fucked us over when he got love. He fucked us over now.
Yeah, it wasn't Gutkun that drafted Aaron Rodgers.
No, it was Ted Thompson.
It's Ted Thompson.
I want Ted Thompson back.
Is he still alive?
I
think he's dead.
Yeah,
He's dead?
I think Ted Thompson is dead.
Passed away
When?
a few years ago.
Yeah, Ted Thompson's dead.
Holy shit.
I don't know. I think that
I
might
don't know.
I think that might be why he's not going to be your general manager anymore,
Yeah,
Liam. That's just my guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he passed away a couple years ago.
Ted
fuck.
Thompson died in 2020. He only died 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, shit.
So obviously Peel wouldn't really understand
Rest in
that.
peace, Ted Thompson.
Rest in peace, Ted
Facts.
Thompson. Really, and he's been around for a while. I mean, he was around.
He was there a long time.
Yeah, I think wasn't he there during the Favre days as well?
I think, he
Think
might have been.
so, but
He
I'm
was-
not 100% sure on that.
He was around for a while.
He must have been because yeah. Oh no, he must have been because because he has both championships. He has the one against the Patriots, which I think was Favre. It was Favre. And then the other one with Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, so really kudos to him. But
Oh, yeah. Hey, you.
So all I'm saying is, Liam, he will not be your he's not looking to be your
God
GM
damn it.
anytime soon. It's not happening. But hey,
Ted Thompson was my freaking GM again.
but hey, if you want to spend less but not know where the money goes, you could always ask Brett Favre to be your GM.
God fucking knew.
All right.
I want that goddamn GM no more.
All right. Well, that's on the docket. Okay, that's all I have. Really.
Yeah, that's all I have as well. Liam, thanks for helping your back and your very, very entertaining commentary. On
welcome, my fellas.
This is us signing off for a while. We won't be doing this for a few months. You'll see me over Zoom on Thursday and throughout the summer. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.
Peace out.
Bye, bitches.